Hi everybody, in this video I'll be going over the PowerPoint Chapter 1 Office for the Web assignments. When you open up the PowerPoint 1A Office for the Web, make sure that you download all the files. Notice that in addition to the instruction file, there's also the start file, in addition to 2 image files. So download all files. Make sure that you also open up your office.com in your apps. We're going to go ahead and click on PowerPoint, and then we can search for our start file. And so our start file is going to be blank. Make sure that we do open up your classic ribbon so that we can see this. And then I'm going to click on Always Show Ribbon so that it always stays up. Okay, so now on to step 3. It says, in your slide pane, in the title placeholder, enter Quest for Adventure. So your slide pane is this main pane here, where we can see what our slide is going to look like. So if you've used Google Slides before, it's very similar. The main difference, again, with all the other Microsoft products is that there are a lot more features than Google Slides has to offer. So the title placeholder is this box here that says click to add title. You only need to click once, and then we're going to type in Quest for Adventure. And it also says in your subtitle placeholder, so I'll click where it says click to add subtitle. We're going to type in your travel, we'll press enter, and then we're going to type in your way. That's it for step 3. Moving on to step number 4, it says on your ribbon. We're going to go up to our design tab. So our design tab has 4 main groups. We have themes, variants, customize, and edit. For us, what we're going to do is to click in our themes group. And it says to click the more button. So your more button is just this down arrow. This is going to show you all of the optional themes. And it says to select the Ion theme. And so these aren't labeled. What you're going to have to do is to hover your cursor over each one of them until you find the Ion theme. And so just like with Microsoft Word and Excel, a theme is just a preset set of font types, colors, and sizes. So this is the Ion theme. Notice that when I hover my cursor over it, it does say Ion. So I'll click it once. Notice that it immediately changes my slide background. Also, Quest for Adventure and Your Travel Your Way is now left aligned, which is specific to that theme. For step 5, what we're going to do is to go up to our Home tab, and notice in PowerPoint we have a Slides group. So this is where we can add new slides. We can also change our slide layout. For what we're going to do here is to click on New Slide. So I'm going to click on this down arrow. And then it says to select the panoramic picture with caption layout. So notice that each one of these are labeled. And I want to look for the one that says panoramic picture. So it's a little bit cut off, but it does start with panoramic picture. If you hover your cursor over it, it does say with caption. And notice that for this specific layout here, we have a placeholder where we can add a picture. And down at the bottom, we can add the title and any other text that's necessary. So the rest of step 5 says, on this new slide, below the picture placeholder, so below this one here, we're going to enter Your Dreams as the title. Next, in the text placeholder, and let me just zoom in a bit in case you're having trouble seeing this, I'm going to type the text that is listed there. Okay, so I've entered the text. Now on to step 7, it says on your home tab, back in your slides group, we're going to click the bottom half of our new slide, and then we want to select title and content. So as our title, we're going to type in our expertise, and then where it says click to add text, and notice that this is an arrow bullet point. We're going to type in over 20 years of experience in the travel industry. For step 8, it says still in slide 3, at the end of the first bullet point after the word industry, we're going to press enter, and then we're going to press our tab key. Okay, so notice now there's a round bullet here, and we're going to go ahead and type in Certified Travel Associates. When you get to step 9, it says to press enter, and then now what we're going to do is to decrease our indent. So we can do that by going up to your paragraph group and clicking this decrease list level button. And notice that we now have that triangle bullet. So this is where I'm going to type in the next point, which says specializing in land and sea travel. And then I'm going to press enter. We can either press tab or click our increase list level button. And we'll type in Europe, Asia, South America, and Canada. That's now going to bring us to step 11. And step 11 says in our status bar, so I'm just going to adjust my screen here so we can see this a little bit better. So in your status bar, we're going to select notes. So your status bar is on this very thin line at the very bottom of your PowerPoint window. Near the bottom right, you should have this notes button. So if we click on that, on the bottom half here, there's a section where you can add slide notes. And so this is where I'm going to enter the text. Quest for Adventure Travel has locations in New York, Chicago, and LA. Once you type that, we're going to go ahead and click on slide 2. You can click on that by using the slides pane navigation on the left here. And then it says at the bottom of the slide, in the content placeholder at the end of the sentence, after the period. And so I'm just going to scroll down a little bit so we can see what we had typed in. So after the period, we're going to press spacebar, and then we're going to enter another sentence. Okay, for step number 13, we're going to go back to our slide number 3. On our home tab in our slides group, we're going to click the bottom half of our new slide button. And this one is going to be a section header slide. Where it says click to add title, and I am going to scroll down here just so I can see the rest of the placeholders. But this is where I'll type in about our company. And then where it says click to add text, I'm going to go ahead and type out what's included here. Don't worry that it's all in caps. This happens to be the specific format for this layout. sure why your work there. That's a little better. Okay, so I've typed that in, and now I'm going to go back to my slide number 1. It says after the word adventure, I'm going to just click once, or until your cursor is flashing, I'll press space, and then I'm going to type in the word travel. Now back on slide 2, now we're going to add some pictures. You'll notice that there's 2 options here. The one on the left is to upload a picture from your computer, and the one on the right is to insert a stock image that's already in PowerPoint. For us, what we're going to do is to choose the one on the left, which is to insert picture from device. Remember that we had downloaded those start files. For this one, we're going to select the Valley one. Okay, now that we've done that, we're going to go ahead and click on slide 4. We're going to click the down arrow or the bottom half of your new slide button. And this one is going to be a title and content. You'll notice that with this title and content layout, instead of just those 2 image buttons, with the content, we're also able to insert a table, a smart art graphic, an icon, or even a video from the web. But for our instructions here, what we're going to do first is to just relabel this. So in the title placeholder, I'm going to start by typing your vacation. And now in this area here, we're going to upload that other image. So make sure you select the one that is insert pictures from this device, and it's going to be the P01A shopping image. So now that we've inserted this image, what we're going to do is to just adjust it. So up on your picture tab, just like we learned previously, this is a contextual tab that only appears when we have specific objects selected. In our picture styles group, we want to find the one that has a simple frame black. And so don't just click on this one. This is a thick matte black picture style. So I'm going to click the More button, and you're going to hover your cursor over them until you find the simple frame black, which is this option here. Notice that that picture style inserts a black border around our image. And you can review this, make sure that it looks like my video here before you do a file, create copy, download a copy, and then upload it into my lab. In the next part of the video, I'll be going over the 1B Office for the Web. Okay, so I have the 1B PowerPoint Office for the Web. I'm going to go ahead and download the materials. I'll download all files. Notice that you should have 3 files here. And I'm also going to open up PowerPoint from my office online. What we're going to do is to make sure that you open up the one that is the Office for the Web and not the web slides. When you open it up, notice that there are already some slides in there with some content. So we're going to be editing and adding to this. Make sure that you also have your ribbon displayed here. And that's going to move us on to step number 3. So what we're going to do is to open up our P01B web slides presentation now. What we can do is to go back up to your Copilot apps, open up another PowerPoint, we're going to upload a file, and then now we're going to do the P01B web slides. So we should have 2 tabs here, the web slides and our start file. Okay, so with your web slides open, it says in your slide thumbnails, so that's these 4 slides here on the left. What we're going to do is to just make sure that you have slide 1 selected. And then we're going to click this copy button up in our clipboard group. Now we're going to go back to our start file. And then it says with slide 1 displayed in our PowerPoint 1B Office for the Web. We're going to go up to our Home tab, and then in our clipboard group, we're going to click the bottom half of our Paste button. Here we're going to click on Paste and Match Style. Okay, next, and we're still in step 3, it says in our Student PowerPoint 1B Office for the Web presentation, to the right of our slide thumbnails, if necessary, so we're going to just use this scroll until we're down to slide number 7. Okay, so I'm going to click on slide 7. Now I'm going to go back to my web slides, and then I'm going to copy the 4th slide. So I'm going to click on slide 4, I'm going to do a copy, go back to my original file, and then here I'm going to do a paste and match style. And notice that just like before, this slide is now after our slide 7. Now let's move on to step number 4. So step 4 says to go up to your Design tab. On our Design tab, we're going to look for your Customize group. So here we can adjust our slide size. What we're going to do is to just change this to widescreen. Okay, and so on slide 8, it says to drag to select the text of the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th bullet points, starting with Golden Gate Bridge through Botanical Gardens. From here, we're going to increase our list level. Remember that you can do that by going up to your Home tab. Then in your paragraph group, you have this Increase List Level button. Next, for step 6, still on slide 8, it says to position your insertion point at the end of the last bullet after the word amazing. So I'm going to click once after amazing. I'm going to press enter, and then I'll just type in Sunset Cruise. For step 7, I'm going to just make sure to click on slide 9. If you need to, scroll down to the bottom till you see slide 9. And then with slide 9 selected, you'll know it's selected because it has this reddish orange outline around it. Just press the delete key on your keyboard just one time to delete that entire slide. After you delete that, we're going to move slide 4 so that it is the last slide. So what we're going to do is to just click and hold your left mouse button on slide 4 and drag it until it is below slide number 8. And so let me see if it lets me do that. You should see a little red line below slide 8, indicating that that's where that slide is going to be placed. Now for step 8, we're going to go back to our first slide. And then what we're going to do, it says, is in our editing group, we're going to click the replace button. And then we want to find all instances of Cafe Greco with Cafe Francisco. We're going to do a replace all. And it says that it had replaced an instance of Cafe Greco with Cafe Francisco. Once you've done that, we can close out our Find and Replace. For step 9, we're going to go to our second slide. We're going to select San Francisco. And then from here, up on our Home tab, Font Group, we're going to change the font to Georgia. And so what I'm actually going to do is to just start typing so I don't have to manually look for it. So I'll select the Georgia font type. I'm going to change my font size manually to 40. And then I'm just going to drag my left center placeholder out to the left a bit so that San Francisco is on 2 lines here. For step 10, it says to select the subtitle text. So I'm selecting Making the Most of Your First City. And then up on our Home tab, let's change this to 32 point. And I'm also going to drag this out a bit, just so it looks a little bit better. And I think I'm going to also adjust San Francisco. For step 11, we're going to go to slide number 3, and it says to select both lines of text. And let's change the font color. So up in our font group, we'll click the down arrow next to font color. And this one says under theme colors, we're going to apply the first color in the 5th column. So that's this dark teal accent 1. And then we're also going to bold and italicize. For step 12, let's click on slide number 4. We're going to select the title. And then we're going to apply that same font color. And since we've already adjusted the font color for the previous slide, notice that the A with the red underline now has that dark teal color. So I'm going to just click on that A with the dark teal underline. We can also do a Control-E keyboard shortcut to center it. You can also use this paragraph group center align button. And then it also says on slide 4, using one of the methods that you practice, center the subtitle. So again, you can either use the Control-E keyboard shortcut, or you can use the paragraph group center align button. For step number 15, we're going to go ahead and click on slide number 5. And it says to click anywhere in the paragraph. So just click once where your cursor should be flashing anywhere in that paragraph. Up on our Home tab in our paragraph group, we're going to click the line spacing button. So that's the one with the small blue up and down arrow. And we're going to double space this. So double space is 2.0. And that's going to bring us to step number 16. So for step 16, it says in the lower right corner of your PowerPoint window, we're going to click on the slide sorter. So this is in your status bar. Your slide sorter is the button with 4 little squares. So this is going to show you a grid of all of your slides in order, and they're also numbered. And what we're going to do is to click once on San Francisco, or our first slide. We're then just going to press delete on our keyboard to delete it. And I actually want to drag slide 2 so that it is after slide 6. So just be really careful when you're dragging this. You want to make sure that that vertical line is where you want your slide to be placed. As for step number 17, it says to select slide 4. We're going to hold down Control on our keyboard, and then we're going to click once on slide 5. So I've let go of my mouse button. I'm also releasing my Control key. And then it says with both slides selected, we're going to just drag them over so it's between slides 2 and 3. And if you take a look here, we can see that that vertical line is between the second and the third slide. Okay, let's go back to our normal view, and we can do that by clicking this button here to the left of our slide sorter, which is our editing view. That's going to bring us to step number 18. So we're going to go back to our first slide. We'll click on our Transitions tab, and then we're going to click on this More button. From here, we're going to look for our Subtle section, and then we want to look for the Fade option. Next in the options, what we're going to do is to click on Through Back. And then finally, in the timing group, we're going to change this to 1.75 and apply to all. And so before we save and upload this, let's take a look at what that's going to look like. So I'm clicking up on my slideshow tab, and then I'm going to click on From Beginning. So notice because we had set that fade and through black, that transition did apply. And it's actually going to apply to all of our slides in 1.75 second increments, or that's how long it takes for the entire slide to appear. And so you can either use your mouse button, you can use your space bar, or the right arrow on your keyboard. When you get to the end, you can also press Escape on your keyboard to bring you back to the main editing. So once you've done that, you can go ahead and create a copy, download a copy, and then upload it into MyLab.